I hope that you are able to see my presentation in full screen.
Yes, it's visible.
Yes, thank you. So I would like to firstly also extend my gratitude to LATTE for giving me this possibility to introduce you with my master thesis research, and also for helping me out with it. I would also like to briefly tell you who I am. So my name is Elza Strazdinja, and I am a teacher of history of culture, or now called culturology, and culture and arts and English language in Cesis State Gymnasium. And this will also probably explain why my master thesis topic was the one you can see here on the screen. So I would like to introduce you today with the key results of this master thesis research that was carried out over the span of the last year in University of Latvia. So why this master thesis? Why specifically this topic? As we already know, and we have discussed this before, in the fall of last year, a new educational reform based on competence approach was implemented, affecting a multitude of subjects, including English language. And new teaching programs were created that also emphasized the use of various forms of text, also including the use of visual media, and specifically advertisements. For us English teachers, in the new teaching program, the use of social advertisements is also mentioned. And what is more, these visual media need to be used in a way that would develop a multitude of transversal skills. And although visual media have been used in English language teaching for many years, however, studies show that not always teachers have enough knowledge and or skills on how to use these visual media to their utmost capacity. And no such studies about the topic has ever been made in Latvia before. And because of this, it was decided to explore teacher experiences of using visual media to develop critical thinking skills and visual literacy in secondary school English language lessons. And in order to achieve the main objectives and the aim of this research, the phenomenological research design was chosen, where the experiences of English language teachers of secondary school were seen as the main focus, not specific methods on how to develop the aforementioned skills. However, we will touch upon one method briefly in upcoming slides. So, as with every research, the first process involves the study of existing literature. And here you can see the main concepts or the main definitions explored within this thesis. Why was it done? Not only to understand their definitions and what they are, but also to investigate their applicability to ESL lessons. So visual media or visual aids, how we heard before, are actually any material that one can see with their own eyes. And this is a very broad definition. Usually visual media fall into two categories: the printed and non-printed visual media, and advertisements follow the pattern here. And you will see that I will occasionally talk about visual media, and occasionally I will talk about advertisements, since both of them were my focus as well in this research. So visual literacy, what is that? It's a group of sub-competences that deal with analyzing visual media and visual messages, sorry. And critical thinking, as defined by Skola 2030, is a goal-oriented analysis of information. So, and even though I said before that we didn't concentrate on specific methods on how to maybe talk about or how to improve developing the aforementioned skills. I did briefly discuss or describe some of the methods. And here you can see one specific method that I found very useful, the so-called LIE method, a very interesting name. The LIE method is proposed by the government of Australia in their arts teaching curriculum, but it can be applied also to other subjects as it is universal pretty much. And what do we do here? We usually try to analyze any image. I'm sorry, can you see me? No.
We can't see you, but we can see your presentation, definitely.
Okay, so yeah, I will try to continue because I think something happened, but I can only see my presentation now. So yeah, if that's okay, I will continue as it is, so I don't go over my time. So yes, the LIE method is proposed by the government of Australia in order to stimulate the use of visual literacy. And it's a form of how to analyze any visible text or images, including social advertisements. And this analysis can be carried out on 3 levels. On 3 graduate levels, starting from a more general level and going to and focusing on going to a more deeper analysis of the text. So, and on each level, students are required to pay attention to a different part of the social advertisement. And also on each level, they have to answer specific questions that relate to this level. So the first level, let's see, yes, is the so-called literal level, where students have to basically name anything they can see on the image or on the text. So words, colors, shapes, objects, and they have to search the evidence directly from the text. So this is a more general or overall level. The second level, the so-called inferential level, requires students to have a closer analysis of the text, and they have to form a deeper thinking about this. So here they have to not only find just the literal information, but they also have to combine it with other information from the text, and also they have to include it and combine it with their prior knowledge to make inferences about the text. So here you can see they have to answer to the questions, for example, what is the purpose? Why was this social advertisement created? What is the target audience, and why? Then we move on to the third level, which is the in-depth level, or the so-called evaluative or applied level. And here students are required to hypothesize, synthesize, think creatively, think critically, and here they follow the pattern of combining literal, inferential information, and they also have to use their knowledge and abilities to go beyond the text. So they also have to give information or propose information, what they would do differently, which visual expressions would they choose to maybe better carry out the underlying message of the text, which words would they change, and what could be done otherwise. So I also tried out this method with various student groups as part of my master thesis, master practice and research program course. in university with Professor Sandra Kalniņa, and we tried it out with many groups of upcoming teachers, PE teachers, arts teachers, language teachers, and they all found this method very useful for their subjects, and it's a great way to also establish subject link, as teachers from many subjects can come together and try to analyze and incorporate their knowledge on the topic within this method. But let's go back to my research. So in order to gain a deeper understanding of the subject and to gain information on the experiences of teachers, 3 data collection methods were used. The first one was a questionnaire, which was carried out in order to gain a general understanding of the topic within Latvia. And here I would really like to thank LATE for helping with distributing the questionnaire with its members. And I thank everyone who participated in it. 2 focus groups discussions were carried out to get a more depth information on the concepts, and also to see if any differences between subject teachers occur. And 2 expert interviews were carried out in order to create recommendations and also to have some extra knowledge on it. Afterwards, of course, the data was meticulously analyzed and primarily using the interpretive phenomenological analysis, which incorporates grouping data in clusters, and afterwards creating textual and structural descriptions, which is quite a difficult process to do, but nonetheless it was done. So what did we find? Actually, the results from both the questionnaire and the group discussions, focus group discussions, aligned, which is a very good result. So visual media is actually used once or occasionally more than once a week to develop or to enhance language competencies, with writing skills being the most popular. And teachers use both forms of printed and non-printed visual media, photographs being the most popular ones because of how easy they are to find online, and usually they have a range of variety. Teachers can also name many benefits and disadvantages of using visual media that align also with the findings from the theoretical literature. And one of the greatest benefits of using visual media is its authenticity. And also it helps in diversifying the teaching process and helping to retain students' information. However, it's also a very great way how to study language, especially grammar and vocabulary, and it also gives insight to cultural habits and customs of other countries. The most popular disadvantage is the time-consuming process of finding, first of all, the most appropriate visual media, and secondly, to create tasks and assignments to use them correctly. Also, the quality of visual media is something that is of a question. So I will continue from the context of transversal skills. So most of the teachers are of the opinion that advertisements can be used to develop critical thinking, and this can be used through analysis and comparison of various advertisements, also creation of their own advertisements, students' own advertisements. Not so sure people or teachers are about if advertisements can develop visual literacy. As you can see, only 1/3 of the teachers agree on this. And also they think that analysis of advertisements can help in doing so, but also here focusing on visual expression use and language use. That is something to be discussed further on. Most of the teachers in Latvia are convinced that they have enough knowledge on how to use advertisements in their ESL classes. However, also here, only approximately 1/3 of teachers are convinced that they can do it in a way that would develop transversal skills. Even less people are convinced that they can use it in order to develop visual literacy skills. Furthermore, this lack of confidence is mimicked in the ability of fulfilling all of the key ideas of the new English language course program in secondary school, which is quite alarming result. And because of this, what could be done? It is recommended to create new additional courses or continuing education courses where the theory and practice would be merged. So teachers should be explained what visual literacy, critical thinking is, and what visual media actually also are, and how can they be used successfully within the class. Secondly, also a portfolio of pre-designed materials of using visual media, especially social advertisements, would be very beneficial. Thirdly, a common distinction on how to describe and implement visual literacy skills and critical thinking skills within the classroom should be created. Also, having a clear assessment criteria on how to measure critical thinking and visual literacy in secondary school subjects. And in conclusion, what can we say? Yes, that visual media as an authentic material has been used for many decades abroad, also not only abroad but also within Latvia. However, we still have a lot of work to do on how to use it within classroom to develop all of the transversal skills, and also which methods to use that actually prove their ability to develop transversal skills that they say they would. Okay, that I think very briefly, although I have exceeded my time, would be about my my research. Thank you very much, and I would be happy to answer your questions afterwards.